we're going to be doing is, like I said, you're going to have to manage quite a lot and observe. Okay, so there's a couple of things that we're going to be doing. Now, if you think about the day, so, you know, you have the start of your day, whatever that is, okay? Some people start really early, some people start late. I don't know. I don't care. Just put that in your mind. So usually there's a start. Somewhere we have breakfast, right? For young puppies, some breeders will say 4 times a day you feed them, others say 3 times. I don't know, whatever you do, okay? So you might have lunch and then dinner time, and then usually it's bedtime, right? So whatever that looks like for you in your time schedule, whatever you want to say, is up to you. Okay. Any questions on that? It was fun.
And keeping that as consistent as possible. Like
No.
He does. Okay.
No.
Great.
So here.
That fits better with us. Doesn't it?
Oh yeah. So some people, the reason we have routines is because then we know we're doing it. We have routines because if your child goes to school, they have to be at school at a certain time. Yeah. Therefore, we have to leave at a certain time. Therefore, we have to be dressed and eat. That's why we have routines. Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't create a lot of routines with my dogs. I do create protocols. There's a difference. Mm-hmm. The difference is when we eat, this is the protocol. But when we eat differs.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to talk about toilet training. We're going to talk about management and training. Okay. So training is when we're teaching the expectations and language, and as they grow, you know, obviously you can't do university maths with someone who hasn't even learned to count yet. So you know, you're adapted. Okay. Same with these guys. So when we look at the dogs, there's 2 types of times: supervised and unsupervised. Okay. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. When my dog is unsupervised, or puppy, this is usually where people go a bit wrong. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because if you're not there to say to puppy, good decision, bad decision, helpful decision, not helpful decision, and they keep practicing it in your absence, they're creating a habit. So there's some things where people say, oh, your dog will grow out of it. I'm like, did your teenage son grow out of smoking? So it's very important that you realize this. So if my puppy's unsupervised, they can be in a short-term confinement area, which is a crate. Mm-hmm. Okay, and we are going to do crate training. Crate training is very important. I'll talk to you about that in a bit. If you wanted to do the Therapy Dogs Australia courses, that's a prerequisite. Okay. Because one is you need to manage the dog, 2, they need a place to go, blah, blah, blah. We can talk about the pros and cons of crates.
I've done a lot of research, and I know that there's not a great way to do it, and then there's a way that kind of makes sense psychologically for me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2 parts. Yeah. What he deals with and what you deal with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes they're better than we are.
Yeah.
And they don't care.
Okay.
Sometimes they're more dramatic than we are.
Yeah. Okay.
So it depends.
Yeah.
Right. All comes down to what is it that I need in the end. I don't like wearing shoes. I was about 15 when I was like, I think you should start. Like, you really need to start wearing shoes. And it's like, but why? And because I'm running around, I'm playing with the boys. I was a tomboy, and sorry for this, but a bra. It's like, why? Yeah. I don't like them.
Yeah.
And there are some things that, like with dogs, they need to learn to tolerate, because that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with crate training, for example, one, it's a great management tool for everything, to prevent behavior problems, to help with training, and to avoid so many crap. It's also great for toilet training.
Okay, great.
You're going to be using that for teaching the dog what we call confinement resilience. Okay. Any animal that gets confined or trapped is not good. They panic. In an emergency, he's going to be put in a box. Okay. If he goes to the vet to get de-sexed, guess where he's going when he wakes up?
Yeah.
Might as well start now.
Yeah.
Okay. Traveling, best place to have him in a crate, especially when they're young. Once they learn to settle and accept, movement and all that, fine. It's not fun if you're traveling down the highway and a dog freaks out for something that you don't even know it and they jump on your lap.
Mm.
Okay, that has happened to me in South Africa, and we drive 120 k's on the highway. Okay. So that's 1. 2, generally you'll have a long-term confinement area. That's an area that's a bit bigger. Okay. Whatever is in there is fair game.
Yes. Great.
Okay, so some people use crates. You have to be fair. Don't put your dog in a crate for 23 hours. That's not fair.
That's the thing that I was talking about. 'Cause I know that some people use it for that. Whenever they go to work, the dog's in a small crate.
Yes.
That doesn't.
That's not
fit.
great.
Okay.
No,
good. That doesn't
absolutely
fit.
not.
Yeah.
During the nights are different because we're all sleeping.
Yeah.
And that's something he has to learn. Most predators are nocturnal. He has to learn that we are not nocturnal.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's different, and I will talk to you about that. But a long-term area, you can design it if you want. Like I've got one in my house, but that's only for unsupervised times. Okay, and it helps with toilet training. This is when you're not here. When you are here, he's supervised. Okay, that's the deal. Because otherwise you get lazy and then it all goes out the window.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the thing is, usually depending on how you're designing it, I use that up till about 6 months.
Great.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I do the work in that 6 months. And they have to earn their freedom. Because the biggest mistake that people make is they give puppies freedom. Like when I got here, I was like, oh, he's on a leash. Oh, no, he's not. You know?
He usually is on a leash.
Yes, no,
he just came out of his pen.
yeah, fair enough. And I'm going
But
to explain.
outside he's usually, because we
Yeah, I
read
saw
that
the-
stuff. Yeah,
I
he's
saw the
usually
pen.
on his leash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the problem you have with this pen is it's a circle. Okay. And just looking there, so you have a toilet pad over here. You have his bed over here.
Wherever he grabs his toilet pad and shoves
Just
it.
takes it to you.
Yeah. So the design of your circular X pens are great for play, but not for toilet training.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, at all.
Yeah.
Okay. The best design is usually where you have like a, we call it a rectangle. Is that the word in English? I'm sorry. I speak Afrikaans, so meaning 3 times as long as wide.
Okay.
That's usually the best design.
Yep.
One area is sleep and eat. One area is play or eat and toilet.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
So I see you've got a column already in there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that area is only just for play. We don't train him to go to the toilet in there
Unfortunately,
or
there's
to
a,
eat.
unfortunately, there's a toilet pad.
Yeah, so that's just to protect the ground. So he doesn't know what a toilet pad is, and
Oh,
every
good.
time he goes on it, it's like we take him out onto the grass.
Yeah, he isn't.
So that's just for us to protect the. He did actually have a mat, and then I took the mat out. So,
Yeah. No problem. No worries.
So we will change it to toilet train him in the pen.
Yeah, when you're not here.
Okay.
Oh, when we're not here.
So
Yeah,
remember,
okay.
he only goes in there when you're not here.
Yeah.
When you're not home.
Yeah.
That's the only time I use this
Yeah.
for.
Because we haven't been out long enough for him
No.
to go to the toilet
Yeah.
in there. Yeah.
So the crate is for anything 4 hours and less.
oh, okay.
time,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
The long-term confinement, anything is 4 hours and up
Okay. Right.
when you're
right.
not here.
All
Right.
right.
That's why it's unsupervised.
So even at his age, because his toilet is a little bit all over the place at the moment.
I bet.
So 4 hours is fine for his age in a crate. If we're not sure whether he might need the toilet the next
Yeah.
half an hour, okay, he can hold it at that
He
age.
should, for him, I would for now give him a toilet opportunity every 3 hours. Okay,
Okay.
this is in the end, right? This isn't now. This
Oh,
is,
okay, good.
This
Yeah,
is,
no, that makes
this
more
is
sense.
normal, like
Yeah.
way. We
Yeah.
actually for toilet training, I'll give you the toilet training formula. It's just an idea, right? It's just guidance.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, supervised is different. Okay, because you want to capture good behavior, you want to manage environment, they don't practice bad behavior, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
you've got kids, so you need to take that into consideration.
Yeah.
All right, they're either going to be tethered, meaning tied to something, because when I tie them to something, they only have a range to get into trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or they're either tied to me, so that's an umbilical cord is what we call it.
Yeah.
No one really likes that one too much because it takes about a week for you to figure each other out,
Mm.
like not stepping on it. Like
Yeah.
not, it's actually a great way because one of the things dogs need to learn is under feet is not a zone you want to be.
Yeah.
So when I have really small puppies like them, the moment they come in between my feet, everyone steps over them. I don't. I actually step very gently on them.
Yeah, I was doing that today because he keeps getting up and tripping me up, and
Oh, yeah.
I basically just gently push through, and
Yeah, you can do pushing, which is fine, but some dogs that makes them play.
okay, yeah,
Yeah,
he
so
was
you
doing that
might
a bit.
find in 2 weeks that'll change where you push him and he goes, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's on-
And
yeah.
that's the biggest. I mean, there's probably a bunch of problems I'm not aware of. One of the biggest problems is that he chews on our shoes.
Yeah.
He loves my
And it
boot.
moves.
Yeah,
So if you're moving,
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and he's not too interested in his chew toys, so
No, I bet it
Yeah.
just doesn't move.
because they don't move. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you step on his toes, right, you do it in a controlled manner,
Yeah.
so that you can, you know, and that's why I do it. So when the moment the puppy comes in my feet, I slow down and then I purposely step.
Yeah.
So that I don't do it too much and break anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna find one day, maybe the kids are playing, there's an accident, you know, she's nearly falling over the railing, there's no time to slow down, so
Yeah.
you need to run.
Yeah.
The dog goes, oh, your legs are moving,
Time
right?
to
I'm
play.
gonna
Yeah.
chase you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? No, under my legs is not a place to be. Or what if you were having people over, you're carrying some tea and cake, puppy goes over in between your legs, whoop, there you go.
Mm.
It even can translate, if you do this properly, as far as dogs that will move for cars.
Okay. Yeah.
So when I had Dagger, I trained all my puppies from a very, like, I'm talking about week 4. I already teach them, like, under my feet's not a good place to be.
Okay. Yeah.
And Dagger died a couple of years later because through the training, and I've told them this so many times, like if you're running, he needs to move. If you're walking, he needs to move. There's times they can stay and I step over them, fine. But cars moving, they need to move. A bicycle, they had a quad, tanks, because of the special forces, they all slowed down for him. So what you're conditioning is they will move. A couple of years later, he got run over by a construction vehicle in Dubai.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know he was there.
Yeah.
So how would they slow down?
Yeah.
2, he was like, you're going to move.
Yeah.
Because play chicken, if you will, like
Yeah.
that concept.
Yeah.
So teaching a dog to stay out from under your feet is more beneficial in the long run than you can think.
Okay.
So that's very important. So start it now.
Yes.
Just
Great.
make them aware.
Good.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
You don't need to kick them. I'm not saying use them like a ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. So umbilical cord is a great way to get a dog to be around you because you're moving around. Now if he's sleeping and you're dragging him around, that's probably not the time to umbilical cord him. That's when I would tether him. Because
Yes,
remember, you're
okay.
still around. Okay.
Okay.
The other one is posting, and this is an actual exercise I get all my clients to practice. You're standing on the leash, and I'll teach you how to do this. This is such a good tool because most of my clients, and this is the one thing that they'll come back to me and say, that is amazing. So I can actually pay at a cafe because the moment I stand on the leash, my dog goes, oh yeah, and just relaxes.
Yeah.
Instead of pulling my arm off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Class, when we have class, or if we meet, just stand on the I go, post them. They stand, all dogs settle, no
And
problem.
it's a cue for them to like
Just
jump
hang out.
in. Yeah. Beautiful.
Okay. That is so important, especially around kids.
Yeah.
Oh.
Beautiful.
The good thing is with posting is you can stand on the leash, sit on the leash, kneel on the leash, lay on the leash. So often with young puppies, I'll go and sit on the leash because most people go, oh, when you're at their level, they're playing. I'm like, yeah, but kids have no choice. They stand and they're still at the dog's level.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
So we need to manage that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So these management tools are extremely important.
Okay.
Any questions?
Yes. So if we want to turn what we've got into what is more appropriate for the long-term grading area, would we need to double the fence, so get another fence equal size to make it a size big enough for him to be in 4+ hours?
The problem with these particular ones depends on your dog. Some dogs are very curious and they're very pushy,
Yeah.
so it's very easy to push that over.
Yeah. He
There's a
pushes it out
real-
of shape like that. So.
There's
yeah.
a reason these are so cheap. They're not steady, they're not sturdy.
So we need to start spending a bit more to get something.
You
It's
can
an investment for, what did you say, 6 months at
6
least?
months, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So and that's so good, especially if you're sick or you know something's going on and you kind of missed an opportunity for him to toilet. It's a tool that can make people too lazy. That's the only problem I have.
Yeah.
I never used to have long-term confinement areas. I only used to have crate, and some people it didn't go very well. Okay, so there are times when this tool is great for people, and there are other people that I'm not even going to mention that because it makes them so lazy that when it comes to the toilet training and behavioural stuff, they're not doing what they should do, and then it goes from long-term areas to no areas.
Yeah.
Like it gets moved, and then they go, oh, I thought my puppy's not going to chew,
Yeah.
and this and that, and I'm like, why? It's new,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
or toilet. It's like everybody just took their toilet area away. So where else are they
Where are they
going
gonna
to
go
go?
now? Yeah.
It was in that corner,
Yeah.
you know. So depending on where you put it, you can design certain things like, let's say you verge the table, for example, and you use the table, flip it over, and corner it off. It doesn't have to be fancy, okay? Depends on you.
Yeah.
Right. My stepdad, he designs them. So I've got two. Got a small one in my room at the moment, and it shouldn't be in the next couple of weeks. My Labrador I'm helping with, the big area, they'll be removing that one.
Okay.
So if you wanted to use that, you can. You just need to let me know, and we need to sort out how to get it here.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
So we can look at that.
Yeah.
Aaron will be fine, because I told him it's time that you need to learn and do your actual toilet training.
And he was okay with that?
Yes, he was. Just teach a big man to go to the toilet in the right areas. Anyway, alright, so that's very important. Okay, so when you're busy with the kids and stuff like that, he needs to be in these areas where you're not going to be too bothered, that sort of thing.
Yep.
If you've got guests, great place to be. Learning when to tether a umbilical cord and post is excellent. So guests coming and going, tethering and posting is a fantastic tool, especially if they want them to get used to people coming and going. These guys tend to be great welcome committees, to the extent that people get me in and go, they bark, they jump, they slobber, they're on the couch. Oh yeah. Why were did you let them do what they want when they were puppies? Oh yeah, pretty much. Makes sense? Yeah. Alright. So in the meantime, let's talk about the toilet training and food. Okay. I actually use dogs' meals to train.
Yes.
Because it's so easy to get rid of in the future.
Yeah.
Okay, and you don't make them fat.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, sorry, what was the first thing that you said? I spoke over you. So easy
to use the dog's meals, not treats.
Because
it's easy to get rid of. Some people come to you and say, I don't want to carry treats with me all day, forever. Well, if you use treats, you're going to.
Yeah, okay.
If you use meals, I can change that.
Yeah.
Especially with a dog that loves to explore and play with toys. Easy, for me anyway.
Okay.
If a dog only ever wants food all the time and they're not interested in the environment or that, they get harder to train, they're easy to teach.
Okay.
A dog that's not interested in food but everything else is harder to teach but easier to train.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So this is where I meant that you got to get to know him.
Yeah.
My dog Ziva was not food orientated. She would eat that much in 4 days.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'd offer it to her. And she's just like, I don't want it. It didn't matter what it was. It was raw food, it was kibble, whatever it was didn't matter. And I thought, okay, I'm going to have to focus more on the socialization and just not worry about treats. And I didn't. And guess what? I'll show you later how well she is, how quickly she goes, and she switched on. Okay. So I take the actual rations for the day is what you're going to be using. Does that make sense?
Yes. So before you rub it out, I'll just take a photo. That's okay.
Yeah, go for it. So that's just access, right? It's not even talking about toilet training and all that stuff. But so, what are you currently feeding him?
So what the breeder fed him, which is a kibble, a dry kibble. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to eventually do, probably not total raw feeding, but that would be my goal, but I don't think that that's going to be sustainable for me.
Sure.
But
And that's important to know.